If you just got your real estate license or you're just about to get your real estate license, I just want to drop some quick knowledge bombs on you that will help you get ready for the business, hopefully save a little bit of time and get you to start closing deals with hopefully a lot less stress than I had when I started closing deals. What is going on, Frank Kritzman, hairstylist guru? The first piece of advice I want to drop on you is the statement that I continually repeat back in my head, and that is just, if it closes, it closes. If it doesn't close, it doesn't close. Now, this is in reference to getting a deal from being under contract to actually getting it to closing. And there are just so many things that can go wrong, and there are a lot of things that are going to be outside of your control. I know it's easier said than done, but do your best to try not to stress about deals that you have going on. All you can do is your best. So what you want to do is take a little bit of time every day and just, if you have something under contract, you just want to think, am I doing everything I can to get this thing to closing? If yes, cool. You just want to check on it every day, mentally check on your checklist. And as long as you're doing everything that you can, just try to put it out of your mind and just let it go. There is a very good chance that that deal is going to close, whether you stress about it or not. So you might as well just let it ride. One of the ways that you can get organized and try not to stress so much is the second piece of advice on this list. And that is to start a running to-do list or a running checklist. I mean, get a piece of paper, notebook, notepad. I have like a cool leather-bound book that I got it's somewhere. It's in my laptop bag. I don't know where it is. Just get a piece of paper and start writing things down on your to-do list. Reason I say this is because you're going to be right in the middle of something so many times. This happens every single day to me. You'll be right in the middle of something and you'll see an email come up and it'll say, hey, this is the title company for this transaction. We don't have the survey yet. Now you have two options at that point. You can either put it off to the side or you can stop what you're doing and then answer that email and then you just kind of get all jumbled up. Or you can try to just kind of hold it in the back of your head and just kind of hold it in place there. But the thing is, next time another email comes in or you get another text message or another phone call, now you're kind of holding on to that other thing that just came in while you're trying to figure out and finish the thing that you're working on right now. So now you're trying to focus on this one task and you are juggling all these other things. And I'm going to tell you right now, a big key to being successful in this business is not multitasking. It's getting very, very good at single tasking. So you want to get laser focused into whatever you're working on at this moment. And then what I do whenever something comes up like that email or that text message, that call, I will just write it down on my checklist and just add it to the bottom of the list. Now, when I finish that thing that I'm working on, I'll go to my checklist and try to triage a little bit and see what thing on that list has the next highest priority, and then I'll jump to that item. What this process is going to do is not only is it going to keep you a little organized, but when you are working on whatever task and that other email or that text comes in, you're just going to grab it, you're putting it on your checklist, and then you can go back to having a clear and focused mind and finish out that task. It's going to help you, I promise. Just do it. Third piece of advice is make a checklist with all of your pending transactions and mentally and physically check in on each of your pending transactions every single day. Every day, you want to set aside some time where you just pop in and mentally, okay, here's my list. I have this under contract. Let me just check where everything at is on the process, make sure everything's moving along, make sure everything's good. We're solid. Let's push forward. My suggestion is to use Google Sheets, because if you use Google Sheets, you can have it on your desktop computer. You can also have it connect through your Google account to your laptop, so you can take that on the go, and you can even have it connect to your phone. So they all connect, like all your devices connect. It's kind of like having a free CRM if you think about it, and that's really how I use mine. I track all my pending transactions on there, and I have tons of different tabs for different things that I've just been building slowly over time. So that Google Sheet is really important to me now. It's very valuable. I promise this is going to help you put your mind at ease. I remember the very first time I had one house under contract, I was just completely overwhelmed with the amount of work that I thought there was involved in that one singular transaction. Then 1 year later, I was in Disneyland with 9 pending transactions and I was basically sleeping. It was not a big deal at all because I was organized. I had everything laid out and I knew where everything was in the process. So I wasn't stressing about everything. I was prepared. The fourth thing I'm going to suggest to you is a little bit of like a financial tip. And what I would do is take at least 30% of your check and set it aside. Do not spend it. Put it into savings. You can even take it out, put it in cash and hide it away in your room or something. Do not spend it, 30%. And you're going to want to set that aside for when it comes tax time. And this might change a little bit per area to area. Here in Florida, there is no state tax, so that makes things a lot nicer. But there's still federal tax, and I think my federal tax rate came out to about, I think I calculated about like 23% of what my total amount of all the checks that I've received was. So then, you know, obviously there's expenses and stuff like that that you can write off. But I just take that 30%, put it aside, and then I know when it comes tax time that I actually have more than enough to pay my taxes and it won't be a problem. I cannot tell you how many times and how many Facebook posts I've seen of other real estate agents talking about how like January and December comes around and now they are rushing to try and close a couple deals just so they can use that entire check to pay their taxes. You do not want to be in that situation. Have the discipline to prepare and put that money aside early. The fifth thing on this list is to only spend money on things that will either save you time or will get you more money. That means don't buy the dumb clothes, don't buy the crazy watches and the jewelry and all that. Don't waste your money. Reinvest that money into yourself, reinvest it into your business. But you also want to be on the lookout. There's going to be tons of companies who are going to try and get your commission check for something. There's lead companies, there's coaches, mentors, all this stuff, all these different things, all these different people are going to try to get your money. I've done tons of free training and I've done tons of paid coaching, and I've paid thousands, probably 20,000 or more on coaching. And in my opinion, there's more than enough free information here on YouTube, which is one of the reasons why I'm making this channel, because there's a lot of other people putting out good information and I wanted to share what I learned and what helped me. So my personal opinion is that I would not pay for coaching. I just don't really think it's necessary. So sorry. I think there's plenty of free options out there, but you do want to, like I said, spend money on things that will make you more money. I'm not big into billboards, but I like to meet people where they're at. Most people today, if you go out in public, everybody's in their phones. They're either on Instagram or Facebook. So you spend money on Facebook ads, boost your listings, just get yourself out there, make sure everybody knows your face in your local area. Buying a laptop was huge for me, and also buying a Wi-Fi hotspot. So now I could go out and I can write offers wherever I'm at. I don't even have to be at home. I've talked to a lot of agents that said, oh yeah, I'm gonna write this offer as soon as I get back to my office. Well, me, I can go out, I can be at the gym and walk out to my truck, write an offer real quick, and then go back into the gym. Or I can take my laptop to the beach and write an offer at the beach. I've done both of those things. So a good laptop and Wi-Fi hotspot, that's been a huge time save for me. Also, another thing that's been a huge time save for me is just biting the bullet and getting my own printer. You want a laser jet, not an inkjet. Other ways you can invest money into your business are you can upgrade your wardrobe a little bit, just kind of have that more professional appearance. You could try out a dialer, you could buy leads, maybe do some paid marketing of some kind, put a little bit extra money into a listing that you get. Maybe take that money and leverage out some activities like hire on a transaction coordinator or somebody to go out and install your signs and lock boxes. Just whatever you're about to spend money on, I just want you to stop and think, is this going to save me some future time, or is this going to multiply my money in the long run, or is this just kind of a fun thing? The sixth thing you should do is practice your listing presentation and get it locked in, and I mean dialed. Even if you just take the first month, first 60 days to practice that listing presentation for 2 or 3 hours per day, just doing that in the beginning, you're going to be so far ahead of anybody else. I'm telling you, literally nobody in your office is going to do that. And who do you think is going to perform better at a listing presentation? Somebody who has practiced it no times, or maybe one time at their brokerage with somebody, or somebody who practiced it for 60 days, hours per day. When I was getting started, one of the first things I did was figure out a bunch of different listing presentations and I memorized like 3 different of the big coaches' listing presentations, and I practiced those listing presentations for 2 or 3 hours every day. I would repeat that presentation out loud to myself in front of a mirror or in front of a friend or something 5 times, just start to finish. And I would do that either 2 or 3 times a day. Usually it was just 2 times a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. But I did that so much that by the time I went to my first listing presentation, I was sick and tired of doing listing presentations. It bored me. I hated it, but I had it just absolutely memorized to a T, and I wasn't even nervous, and I crushed it and got the listing. I promise if you do that, just that one thing right there, you're going to be ahead of 95% of the other agents in your area because nobody else around you is doing that. And the 7th thing you want to do is get your tech dialed in. There's a couple big things that you want to get figured out very early on. You want to figure out what platform you're going to be sending out all your documents. This is like if you want to use .loop, some kind of DigiSign. I use SkySlope, DocuSign, whatever it's going to be. You need to figure out that platform and just figure out how to use the basics. Some other tech things that you might want to get figured out is Canva. Canva has been super helpful to me, and now I feel like I'm a king on Canva. I can just whip up anything. But you should at least get on there and start a completely free account. I paid for the pro account because I think it's definitely worth it. It's like $15 a month. You can do so much on Canva. It's been extremely helpful. You obviously want to do all the obvious ones as well. There's the setting up your Zillow profile, realtor.com profile, getting your Google page set up, starting all your social medias, your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything that is all around the social media. Starting a YouTube page, which I think it would be very good to start a YouTube page as well. There's a lot of people that have success right now making YouTube channels that are like neighborhood tours and pros and cons of living in their city. I think that's definitely a huge place to start, and I have my own channel where I do that as well. All right, that's all for today. If this video was helpful for you, make sure you press like because then it can get to somebody else and might be able to help them out as well. I'll see you in the next one.